Today we wanted to share some of our favorite marriage advice that has been given. Do you want to start or would you like for me to start?
You can start.
Okay, I'll start. So, my favorite piece of marriage advice that I was given, this is premarital, so before we got married, um, someone shared a quote with me, so I can't say it was direct advice, but I would take it as advice. I have taken it as advice, but the quote is, marriage is a bond between two forgivers. And when I heard it, this was given to me from an older coworker. She'd been married for quite a long time, and she also was given that advice, or that quote was shared with her. But when I heard it, I thought, ooh, I've never heard anybody say anything like that before. It's really simple, but also extremely powerful. And to this day, it has definitely been something that I have held on to, because great or small things are going to happen that you're going to need to apologize for in marriage, but that you're also going to need to forgive when you're married.
What, you actually have to forgive while you're married?
Yeah, you also have to
You
apologize.
can't. Yeah, that too. Well, that's that's step number one.
Yes, yes. So that has been so powerful for me, um, because you can take that through every season. It doesn't really matter if you have kids or you don't have kids. If you're older or younger, whether the marriage is 2 days old or 45 years old. Um, and the fact that she used the word bond, like it's something, hi JJ, something that holds us together. Because we have seen and um, observed marriage falling apart or marriages falling apart due to people not apologizing
Yep.
and not forgiving. So
Yep.
not being able to move forward after someone has apologized, or just outright, not apologizing at all. So that bond is broken. And I feel like our ability, like my ability and your ability together, our ability to forgive each other is something that has held us very tightly together.
Yeah.
So that was going to be my favorite piece of advice.
So what you're telling me is I have done things to you which I've had to apologize for, and you've had to forgive me for them?
Yes.
No, can't be. No, I've never done anything. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's a really good one. Oops. Yeah.
What about yours?
Uh, I the one that I always share with you is, um, I was told right before we got married to take a moment, despite all the busyness and the craziness of getting married, to actually like slow down while you're standing across from me while we're exchanging vows or whatever we were doing up there. Like, I'm not saying like we did that too, but like during some point, it didn't have to be at that point of exchanging vows, but like actually stand there, and like look at you really, really intently, and like burn that image of you into my mind. And that's probably the best advice pre-marriage, at least the most memorable one for me that I got, because I know that like I can still like right now just like see you in all your wedding glory, you all done up and pretty wedding dress and all that kind of stuff. So it makes me happy. It's a very good memory for me, and I know like even if things aren't like tough between you and me, if we're just having a tough time in life and it's not like you're doing something that you have to apologize for and I have to forgive you, or vice versa, I've done something and I gotta forgive, and or you have to forgive me and I gotta apologize. Like, it could just be, one of us is sick, or it's been a really hard day or a really hard week.
Or a car
Yeah,
accident.
or a car accident or anything. So somebody was rude, somebody was mean. It's like, and it just kind of puts me in a less than agreeable mood. Like I can go back and like look at you then and say, okay, this is who I'm married to right now. It's like you're the same person, you're just as beautiful. So it kind of helps me course correct sometimes.
Oh,
And
thank you.
you're welcome. And just like, okay, like this is who I'm married to. I like being married to her. It could be dark and somebody could have hit my car and whatever, but like I don't have to treat you how I feel because that's not you.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Then another thing, I was thinking just right before we pressed record, this is after we got married.
Okay.
I know I asked you like how you wanted me to lead in the marriage, especially like on the spiritual side of things.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like really kind of having a tough time with that, and this is when like it was one of the first times we met with Pastor Mark. And I just asked him, I was like flat out, I was like, yo, how I do this? And he just made it real simple. He was like, just give her what she wants. I was like, that's it? He was like, yeah. He's like, I was really overthinking it. He just said it. I was like, okay, that makes sense. So like, she wants to like have a Bible study, like have a Bible study. If she wants you guys to read together, read together. He's like, don't overcomplicate it. So after that, I feel like things have really slowed down and become less complicated for me. And I don't have to think like, how am I leading? I was like, okay, what's the best way that you're going to connect with God? And how can I, mend what I do and what you want to do and make it work together?
That's actually really good.
Yeah.
I forgot he gave you that advice.
Yeah.
So that has been helpful. And I mean, I think it's a good picture of leadership
Yeah.
is first of all for you to be interested in what I need as a leader, and then not assume that you know what's best, but that you're humble enough to ask. Not only ask me, but also ask someone else that you respect and that you honor to say, hey, here's what she's saying. What do I do? So, and then you took it. You took that advice. So all of those things together, I think it's been great
Yeah.
working together for our marriage.
Definitely made life a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
A whole lot easier. But yeah, it's definitely a bond between two forgivers. Can't be one, can't be the other.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Two forgivers, so it cannot be a lopsided marriage and be very healthy or even very excited or.
Nothing lopsided is healthy. Usually, I'm making a general statement. That doesn't apply to everything. Don't come at me. But usually, if it's lopsided, it's not healthy.
Yeah. Well, I would at least speak specifically for marriage.
Yeah.
When it's one-sided, it's just not ideal.
And this isn't agreed upon one-sidedness.
Right.
Like, I can't boil water, so if we're going to eat in this house, you have to cook. But at the same time, you don't know how to do something else, and it's like, okay, well, if you do this, I'll do that. Like, okay.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Like, everybody can apologize and everybody can forgive.
Yes. Yes.
no
We all have that
exceptions.
ability. If you are married, hear us out. You can apologize.
If you draw breath. But yeah, it's
So.
between two.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me of that point.
Yeah, you're welcome. Because we've seen it when one is willing to forgive and the other takes time to forgive or doesn't forgive. Or we've seen it when
Neither
neither.
are willing to apologize and neither are willing to forgive.
That's a really bad situation.
That's the worst.
That goes down fast.
Yeah.
Or when they miss each other, the timing. So both are willing to do it, but they're not willing to do it at the same time. So it might be like, oh, well, I was willing to do it now, but you weren't. So, I get jaded and bitter and I don't want to do it anymore. So now, well, I don't want to do it now, but now you're ready. So then it's just that downward spiral of, well, we could never just see eye to eye on things. It's like, oh, it's like, but you guys say the same things. You guys are willing to. It's like, it doesn't make sense. It's like, it's a bond. It's like you can't be disjointed in it and say, oh, well, I forgive, and I forgive too, or I apologize, but it's like, it's
The timing does matter.
the timing does matter.
The timing does matter, and it takes, like I said, humility and discipline to even just be able to start the process.
Yeah.
It takes humility and discipline to even start the process, which is something that if you're not used to doing, if you're very uncomfortable with doing that just as a person, then it's going to be hard to do it in marriage.
Yeah. It requires transparency, honesty, transparency, and vulnerability.
Yeah.
It requires all three.
Yeah.
To start, start the process, keep doing it, and finishing it. Excuse me. So, ooh, dry.
Yeah. But it is a bond between two forgivers, and it does take forgiveness. And so, you say forgiveness, but the unspoken thing is the apologizing,
Yeah.
the admitting fault, the owning failure.
Well, yeah. Like, how do we forgive? Like, what's the process of forgiveness? I feel like you and I, should we go over that now, or should that be another video?
That could be another video.
Ooh, okay. Another video on what did I just say?
The process of
the
forgiveness.
process of forgiveness. How do you forgive?
Yeah.
So, real brief. Obviously, somebody has to bring up some offense. Somebody's offended. Somebody has to apologize. You have to accept the apology, and then you have to work on forgiveness.
You have to move forward and.
Yeah, then you have to actually forgive.
Yes.
And it's a process. It's not a one-time. Usually, it's not a one-time statement, depending on the level of offense.
Yes.
You step on my toe once, I can forgive you. You've been stepping on my toes for 20 years. It's probably not going to be like, hey, sorry for stepping on your toes for 20 years. And you're like, oh, no problem. Like, it might be for some people. For other people, it might take a while to get over that.
Yeah.
So.
That's a good one.
Yeah. All right. Well, next up, I don't want to say that. I don't want to make promises.
No, I was about to say.
I don't want to do
next
that.
Next up will be something different.
Yeah. So, we'll see what's next.
Well, in the comments, you guys can put what is your favorite piece. What have you been your favorite pieces of marital advice, especially advice that you have taken. So, I think that's really what's important.
Yeah,
is
don't give us
something
the bad
you've heard
advice.
That was great and that you were able to take with you.
Yes, no bad advice. If it's bad advice, we might say it's bad advice. If your good advice is bad advice, we might say that's bad advice too. So, yeah.
Share.
Yeah, share it. Let us know. We might actually talk about your advice, what we think about it. All right, later.